Hi friends, welcome to Aisha's DIY. Um, Today we will design a bracelet using GGC treasure bag, the autumn tones. This was one strand of the 6 mm nice coral color clasp beads, and then also we have this roundel beads. I have already made a bracelet with this. It's a bead weaving project, but this is much more simpler version of bead weaving, you can say. But this involves two needle technique. I have here two needles. As you can see, I have attached it to the same thread. It's about, say, a little shy of wingspan, and then I used 0.006 inch frost blanco wildfire is the thread I have used, and I have used 10 size 10 beading needle. I have threaded in the two needles at the two ends of the thread, and I'm using a lavano seed bead, which is sparkle topaz lined. This is my Yuki, and you don't have to use the seed beads if you have enough of these roundels. Since I used it for another bracelet, I have a limited amount, so that's why I'm using a seed bead as well. You don't have to necessarily use that. Then you need a clasp. You can use the bronze clasp that you got from the box, but I want to use some other clasp, maybe this one right here. I'm not so sure, but that seems to be good, or any clasp will do good. So I'm thinking whether to use bronze or gold. Use this magnetic clasp. This magnetic clasp came with two lobster claw on the side, but I'm just going to use the magnetic clasp. And then also you can use a wire guardian around this. Let me just grab a golden color wire guardian. You can also use a clamshell, but I'm going to use a wire guardian. So using a wire guardian protects your wire, as the name suggests, and also it gives a cleaner look. So you can attach your wire guardian here and then continue to do your stitching. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the wire guardian from one side, okay, and then attach this clasp to the wire guardian. Okay, and then go through the clasp and through the next side loop of the wire guardian. There is two loops, so go through that. You're actually pretty much done attaching your thread to the piece. Let me just make sure that this one is staying properly. For some reason it's going on the side. Don't understand why, but let's see. There we go. You need to just I squished the wire guardian a little bit. You need to make the wire guardian wider so that it stays properly here. That's what I figured. But in the process I have squished the wire guardian. I don't know if my thread will go through one more time. This side is fine, but the other side is doubtful. See, this side itself is not so good. I'll just snip this off and I will come back. The wire guardian backfired very badly. I had to cut my thread. As you can see, it's frayed a little bit, so it's okay. What I'm going to do here is I'm just cut it about same middle, so I'm just going to make an overhand knot and make the overhand knot extremely big. So that it just stays inside the clamshell nicely. I'm doing a surgeon's knot, going through the loop twice and making it essentially big. So maybe one more time. If you want, you can add a crimp bead and then crimp it as well, but this is good enough. Now take the 2 needles I have to thread in the next one. Inside I took it out trying to remove the clamshell, but it was not coming off. I take these two and go through the clamshell from the whole side of the clamshell, just like this. It has that loop side and the V-shaped side, so we go from that part, and I know. So no, not the other way around. Sorry. So go from this side inside to the outside, then the knot will sit inside the clamshell. For some reason this got knotted in the process. I'm gonna pick up 10 seed beads. On one needle, and then 2 of these beads on the other needle. Okay, and drop these down. Now pick up a 6mm bead. Doesn't matter which needle you are picking up, but you are going to crisscross through that bead. Okay, now you have to pay attention towards the right and the left cord. In my right cord, I pick up 2 of the 6mm bead and drop it down. On my left cord, I pick up the roundels. 4, 5, 6. I think 6 should be enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 10 of my seed beads and check. Okay, and check if the width is perfect. Yeah, that is perfect. So here we go. Now drop it down and crisscross through a roundel. You can use just seed beads, or you can just do just roundel. You don't have to combine these two, but I am going to combine these. But this is how we are going to do the bracelet. Now in my left side, I pick up 2 of the 6mm rounds, drop it down, and in my right, I pick up 10 of the seed beads. This time I will crisscross through the 6mm. So we are alternating the crisscrossing thing. One time I will crisscross through the 6mm, the other time I will crisscross through the roundel. So that's the only thing we are going to do it differently. So there we go. This is what I have so far. I like what I have here. If you want to change it in any other pattern, you can do so according to your preference. Now my right hand side had the seed beads in the previous set, so I will pick up 2 of the 6mm beads. Okay, the left hand side, I pick up the roundels. I pick up 6 roundels. Okay, and then also actually 7 roundel and crisscross through the 7th. When you pull that through, this is what you will have. So one side you will be having the roundels, the other side you will be having the seed beads, and if you think about it, this is how your bracelet will look like. If you want to interchange this, you can change this very well without any problems, but this is how I'm going to do. And then maybe this time I will do the roundels on this part and then the seed beads on that part. Also, we can combine the seed beads and the roundel. It's totally up to us. Hi friends, welcome back. I just designed this bracelet 3 times. Actually, I didn't like the color, the topaz, and then I changed to a gold, and then I didn't like that. Finally I changed to this copper. This is not like a Toho or a Mayuki branded seed beads. These are regular Chinese seed beads, but I really like this color to go well with this. And also, if you notice, I have changed the pattern here to just with the roundels. It didn't seem good, So I added seed beads and roundels. Let me tell you guys the count. The beads that I used are 12 seed beads. It's not 11. These are the ones that I exactly used. It is a long tube and it is from Hobby Lobby, as you guys can see that, and it was only $4. The thing is, I used the 12 glass seed beads than the 11. So I'm telling the count based on that. It's a little bit bigger than the 11. I mean, sorry, uh, I don't know. I don't know how to say this is, but I used 8 of the 12 seed beads on one side, and then for this pattern I used 10 seed beads. I mean 10 beads, 5 of the seed beads and 5 of the roundel. I don't know, that felt like appropriate to me, so that's how I managed to do it. And I'm at the end here, as you guys can see, and I crisscross the roundel, which I am not supposed to do it. I will just take my thread off of it, and we have these 2 cords, right? So I'm just going to take the roundel off. We don't need the roundel off at this point. And I measured it. It's about, say, 6.25 inch, and with the clasp it will be 7.25, which will be perfect for my wrist size. So here it is what it is. Take these 2 needles and go through the clamshell from the back. Okay, this is what we are going to do. I don't know, for some reason. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I am just going to go through a crimp tube. You can use a crimp bead or a crimp tube, whichever you want, you have available in your stash. You can use them. I'm going to use the smallest teeny tiny crimp tube that I have available. Okay, I'm gonna go through that crimp tube with both the needles. I know I have just gone through once through this bracelet. Reinforcements are in order, but I want to finish it this way. I really don't know what's going on. My thread is tangling a lot. I think it's because I added a lot of change, so maybe that's the reason. But we will tackle one needle at a time is what I'm thinking, because that will be easier. So once I put both the needles through the crimp tube, I go back again through the clamshell hole. Okay, I do that. I will do with both the thread, but for now I will do this. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to reinforce my thread. I will just go through all the beads again and come back to the other end. If you're not able to go through the beads one time, that's okay, that's completely fine. See this? You just go ahead and tighten that up as you go. That's why I'm holding this other cord also in my hand tight, and then I'm going back I will go back through the entire bracelet and I will come back. Because reinforcement, we have to reinforce this cord, otherwise this is way too loose. Then go through this crisscrossing and everything. See how loose this is when I pick it up in my hands. I'll go back and come back. So I finished one thread, the other thread is out here. Okay, after the knot, it's right there. It's not the knot, you can tie the short thread that I have here. I'm gonna tie myself a couple of good knots, right over left, left over right. If you want to do a surgeon's knot, you go through the loop twice and not that. There is a small crimp in there, you can either crimp it or leave it just like that. I don't want to crimp that a little bit, and I'm not really worried about this short tail, so I'm gonna just snip that off. There we go. So this one right here, I need to reinforce this thread, so I'm just going to go ahead inside that clamshell loop. Actually not loop, the clamshell hole. By now it's very tight, but still we can get the needle through. Okay, and go through a couple of beads right here. Can do half hitch knot. Half hitch knot is just going under here in between that loop right here under the thread, making a small loop and going through that loop, then making sure that your knot stays between the beads and not on top of the beads. Then go back through the next couple, the knot will go in, and then catch the thread underneath and make yourself a loop. Make sure that the loop lands between the bead and not over the bead, which it happens sometimes. And go through a couple of beads, and then you can snip off this thread. So I shall go in because I'm sensing a little bit of thread right here, so just want to reinforce everything nice and tight, and then when you are done with it, you will have this beautiful bracelet. I really like the way this turned out to be. You can actually substitute the roundels on both sides, but I really like the simplicity of this one as well. And then all we have to do is to connect. I'll just do a couple half hitch knots and come back. Now is the time to add our clasp. So I'm just going to add this magnetic clasp right here. And then this clamshell has two parts, right? The loop part, first you take that loop and bring it in between that clamshell disc shaped, and then go ahead and close that clamshell right there. So this is what we have, and as it is, this is a little bit tight, Let me see if this bracelet is nice and a right fit for me. It is. If I add more, then it won't work. So what I can do here is, again, open up this loop a bit. This clasp will not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this loop up. Carefully do this, and then take my lobster claw, close the loop, close my clamshell shut, then take the other end and close my loop first, and then my clamshell. There we go. Then I can take my jump ring and add it here. You need another pair of pliers to do it, probably a bent nose pliers. Hold it, go back and forth. There it is. Our bracelet is ready. I hope you guys like this tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notification. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good day and bye.